We're live. Yeah.
Good practice run.
Boom. Welcome to the Seb Show. The Seb Show Quarter Pound Podcast. I was so used to always saying the Seb Show. Fuck. Bro, let me just talk about last week super quick. We have to run over last week. At Uriah Faber fight.
Was not ready for that.
That was the most fucked up thing I've ever seen. I was fucked.
Didn't see that coming.
But I thought Ricky Simon was gonna fuck him up. Ricky Simone.
I guess after watching Masvidal, you might as well just go in and throw as many punches as you can and go for it at all times, at any age.
I don't know. That was fucking good. And then like people are saying that was an early stoppage though too. That's fucking stupid. Definitely not.
The Durandamy fight?
No, the
Simone
fight.
Yeah. Maybe
the Durandamy fight was probably stopped early. But like the inevitable was happening either way. Like she was gonna get finished. It's not like the girl wasn't gonna get finished because her being didn't jump in. Same thing with Ricky.
You could have let that go, I guess, but I mean, still super advantage for Faber, man.
Yeah, it was a pretty fun card though. Pretty fun card, but let's go ahead and jump into this one. Let me get my shit ready. My phone might fucking die, so you're gonna have to walk us through the fights.
Oh, good.
Just make sure you have them in the right order.
Yeah, I'm on tap right now.
Yeah. Okay, so first up, let me set our timer as usual, 4 minutes for us to break this down. And ready, set. Actually, let's set it off like this. So Domingo Pilarte and
Felipe Colares
starts the night off, and bro, Domingo, he's getting a lot of love too by a lot of people.
He should.
Yeah, it's understandable, it's deserved, but I don't know if the guy should be fucking minus 350 or whatever he is.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I just think this is a tougher fight than people are giving him credit for. I think he's gonna win. I just think this is a tougher fight. Bro, he gets clipped a lot, that guy, man.
He got clipped by Vince Morales, and he clips everybody at least once, but he was off his rocker in that fight.
Like, Morales almost finished him twice in the first round.
Yeah.
That was crazy. And then he came back and won. I remember I had Morales in that fight too. I played him. But what's good? He's huge for bantamweight. First of all, he's fucking massive. He's like 6 feet or something. So
yeah, he's 6 foot.
Yeah, that's insane to be 135 pounds and 6 feet.
Krause is 5'9", so he's up there. Could be exaggerated, but
who's 5'9"? Oh, Colares.
I guess could be exaggerated. You never know.
Yeah, but Domingo should be able to get this to the floor. I think he might have some trouble with Colares on the stand-up. I wouldn't stay too long on the stand-up if I was Domingo. I'd try to get this to the floor as soon as possible, work my jiu-jitsu, because he's got some nasty jets, and finish it like that. But I would not play him. I would pass in this situation for sure. I think that's too high of a price. And we've seen him one time, and we haven't really seen Colares either. We don't know what Colares is made out of. We've seen him one time against Geraldo de Freitas. Even though it didn't look that good, still like fucking, I don't know, man. It's still a pass for me. But I'll go with Pilarte. I think Pilarte can get this late round and possibly finish him. How about you, go?
You're definitely right in the sense that his fight with Geraldo de Freitas didn't go very well for him. He's pretty decent with the body kick, and he's good at changing up the pace and mixing in his grappling. pretty fast when he gets in there. I feel like he's pretty decent at staying calm under pressure from a guillotine and even a leg lock that kind of almost put him in trouble. He kind of seemed to avoid the worst of it and come back a little bit. So, you got to definitely watch if you've put something on him and put him in like a submission threat and he gets out. He's definitely going to be ready to get into the stand-up fight. But I think Domingo Pilartes could butcher him on the feet. He does a lot of things twice or three times, like leg kicks and just constant left straights, which tend to just constantly land if the guy's fast enough. And Pilarte can be pretty scrappy on the inside too. And sometimes he overstays his welcome, like in the Vince Morales fight. So, but he clips everybody at least once. Like you gotta stand a few of those. And Morales just kind of clips them and doesn't realize it, but they get hurt from it. I think Pilates is pretty decent on the ground. Maybe Colares might have a chance grappling him or putting him on the floor, but I think he's got some decent head kicks and a lot of striking to get past. So I got Domingo Pilarte in this one.
Cool. Just in time to beat the clock. Nice. Second fight of the night. Mario Bautista versus Jinsu Sun. It's my first play of the night. Oh, not crazy. I think I have like 6 or 7 play parlay. It's just a 0.5 unit, nothing crazy, obviously. It's like it'd be crazy for hits, bro. That'd be sick. But I have Jinsu Sun on that parlay, and I think he's a monster.
Yeah,
Looked super impressive against Peter Yan. I had Peter Yan in a parlay because he was like -1,000 at one point, but I got him super early. I got him like -400 or something like
nice.
that. And maybe -5 or whatever. I got him early though, and then bro, he made me sweat. Jinsu Sun, he was fucking look the monster. Like what a chin that kid has. First of all, bro, he gave a tougher fight to Peter Yan. Yeah, well, I wouldn't say a tougher fight than Jimmy Rivera, but it was up there. It was pretty damn close.
Oh yeah, he had to deal with a lot of grappling from him.
Yeah, man. And Jinsu Sun I think, is a good. Comes from the Korean Zombie MMA, so he's only a 2-digit Korean Zombie. He's a fucking monster. We just saw what Korean Zombie did a couple weeks back with fucking Anima. I don't know. I really like Jinsu Sun. I don't think too highly of Mario Bautista. I understand he fought Corey Sandhagen, who's a fucking monster, but
that was a good fight.
And it was okay, but he didn't look super impressive or anything like that. If it's on the feet, I think he's gonna get fucked up by Jinsu Sun, and I think Jinsu Sun is actually a pretty damn good grappler too. So I think that Jinsu Sun anywhere this fight goes. So yeah, I got a 0.5 units in a parlay on Jinsu Sun. How about you, did?
Yeah, he's got some super low hands, and he was laughing at Peter Yan the whole time. While definitely in respect, they were knuckling up on the third round, but he's very deadly, especially when he goes from throwing power punches with his hands down, and these punches come at weird angles, almost from like blind spots. And I think it tested a lot of Peter Yan's ground game because he had to deal with lots of takedowns, tackles, and he had to start mixing up his strategies as well. He kind of ducked into a lot of Jinsu San's punches, and he's pretty good at getting people when they crouch or bring their feet too close together and kind of bend down to avoid one big punch. He's good at kind of throwing like a nice jab when people curl up in like a fetal position. Mario Bautista, again, he was originally killing that Corey Sandhagen fight before the armbar. He got a pretty good slam off of the fence, so that's always something big to watch out for. And if people start to stagger, he's right on you. He's pretty decent at controlling the pace when he's on the floor, getting lots of guillotine chokes and darces early on in his career, but now it's starting to get a little difficult. And Jim Susan's kind of been on the ground too, so it'll be a decent grappling match from both of them. But I think Jim Susan throws really hard, and he's gonna have those hands down too, so he'll be vulnerable. It's gonna be a tough fight. I think Jim Susan wins it though. Really impressed me on that Peter Yan fight.
Yeah. Next up, Ray Borg versus Gabriel. And I got Ray Borg in that same parlay with Jinsu Sun. First of all, I think, especially his price right now, I think Ray Borg is a little bit underpriced right now. A lot of value on him. I know this Gabriel Silva kid is a fucking monster, but man, I don't know if you can deal with the pressure of Ray Borg coming forward, all that wrestling.
Yeah.
So, and Silva has some good wrestling too. Don't get me wrong, but he's good. Silva's good. He's gonna be a force in this division for sure. But this is a super tough test for your first fight in the UFC, man. And I can tell Dana loves this kid. If you watch the Looking for a Fight episode where they found him, Dana loves this kid already. You can tell. His brother's Eric Silva, and he fights a lot like Eric Silva, but probably even more aggressive. Yeah, but they're very similar styles. Um, I don't know, man. I just think Ray Borg can out wrestle here to a decision. So I got Ray Borg by decision, actually, plus 105 or something. I don't see Gabriel Silva getting finished, and I think Ray Borg will win this at least 29-28. He'll at least grab 2 rounds. I can see him get getting rounds 2 and 3. Maybe Silva will have a quick start, but
Yeah.
or maybe it'll hit Borg because like his last fight against Casey Kenny, you can tell Casey Kenny's a fucking monster too, though, man. Really good grappler. I didn't expect that kid to be that good, man. I knew he was good when I used to watch when he was on Contender Series. I forgot who the fuck he fought. I want to no, it wasn't Benito. That was Steven Peterson. I forgot who he fought, but he fought someone. I think he fought at 125 on the Contender Series too.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and then I watched him in LFA, and the kid's a monster.
Yeah, so he was ready to go in against anyone if he beat Borg, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, but I got Borg here for sure. Which is good.
Yeah, you can't shake off Borg. I understand they're giving him to all the new people coming in because of Borg's break that he had, and with his last fight not going as well as he thought, and his other fight before that being Demetrius Johnson. So this guy was always up to up in rank enough to fight whoever had the belt. Really good at getting in Formiga's face, bombing him with lots of shots. And when he starts to get on a really good roll with combinations, his feints and his double feints into strikes work really well. He's got a flying knee strike that comes out every now and then, and great takedown defense. Good takedown defense and attempts on the ripping people down from the fence and winning decisions a lot of times just by getting into positions where he's about to sub, but just keeps control. Add in this guy goes for high kicks in the late rounds, which is a very surprising move, and I think it catches a lot of people. Gabriel Silva, he's had a tough fight before. They get a split decision early on against William Vogado in a jungle fight. So he definitely gets lots of rounds in. I mean, he's getting lots of decisions. So he's got his experience in there. He's not just finishing people in one round. He's got some good slams as well, so you got to look out for that. Good sweeping left hook, and he kind of stays outside of people's ranges, and then kind of finds his way in. Obviously, got notice off of that Jake Hefferman knockout. So that's his second time really knocking someone out, and he can do it quick.
Time's up.
See what happens. I think Ray Borg takes it though out of experience.
Okay. Yo, if you ever hear that beep, I don't know
Yeah,
if you heard the music.
oh,
Yeah,
the
that means the
music. Yeah,
time's up.
I thought that was just your phone going off, but yeah, I guess it's just the timer. No worries.
Yeah. I want to get a cooler music tone. I'll do that one.
All good.
Um,
So what you got?
Roxanne Modafferi versus Jennifer Maya.
Oh,
And I got
good
this
fight.
fight to go to decision. And on both parlays, so I got 5 units on this fight. The big one and the little one. Oh, fuck. Ugh. I need to have some units right now, boy. But, yeah. I think Maya gets the win here. Both very similar styles, but I think Maya uses it a little bit more effectively. Um, at least in this matchup, I see her being able to grapple Modafferi. She's definitely a higher level of grappling than Roxanne, and that's pretty much Roxanne's go-to right now.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know, man. I can see this being a sloppy fight too. But Maya's actually got some decent stand up. I can see her actually lighting up Modafferi quite a bit on the stand up. But the big one for me is to go to decision. So I got this to go to the distance, and I got Maya to, and I think Maya wins this. But we'll play on that.
I was most surprised by Roxanne Modafferi's big win over Antina Shevchenko, because I really didn't think that would go to the decision at all. I thought it'd be ended way earlier. Roxanne comes in really weird and kind of fakey, constantly raising her guards up and down and kind of gets people into a lull and starts to land. She lands a lot of weird and kind of sneaky shots. I think Jennifer Maya has grappled and fought with a lot heavier hands. I mean, she's fought Liz Carmouche as well. So she's dealt with some damage and people who can wrestle with her. She had a split decision against Modafferi before, so it would be a decent rematch. But I think Jennifer Maya is a little more dangerous on the hands and was able to defend Alexis Davis a lot in that fight, winning that one pretty easily. I thought she did decent in the third round as well. And, when Maya starts to move and bob her head, she starts to really land. I think Roxanne's kind of relying on a lot of randomness to win her rounds. I think Maya will have the more shocking punches, and especially when she sets them up. So, yeah, I got Jennifer Maya in this one.
We killed that one. Sam Alvey versus Abreu. And I got Abreu in my big parlay here, 4.5 units. I think this guy's a fucking monster. I had him against Ankalaev. Super impressive. World champion at jiu-jitsu, I'm pretty sure. I know he's a black belt. And I just like he was training at I think he still does train there. He was training at Evolution Thai with Didi. I don't know if you know Didi. A fucking monster. That's where I think Thomas Almeida was there for a little bit.
Shit.
Who else goes? Bro, Evolution Thai is a nasty gem in Brazil. They spar crazy hard. That's where he trains, but then I think the last few weeks or month, he's been at American Top Team.
Well, I think they were saying that in one of his fights, right?
I think that's when he does it. When I don't remember hearing that in one of his fights.
Okay.
I just saw it on Instagram.
Oh.
But they might have said it on the fight. I don't know. So he's training with like Junior Dos Santos. Arlovski's on this card. I think Arlovski's at Jackson Wink now. He goes back and forth.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I like Blitzen a lot because Sam Alvey is not like all he has is a pretty decent right hand, and now that he's at 205, it's really not that as powerful as it was at 185, and like that's all he has, bro. He doesn't even throw it a lot. He throws like a few punches every so often, like, and he just loads up for that bomb. He just
Mm,
throws it, and then he'll go back and wait for another one. I can see Blitzen rocking him. But the big thing is if Blitzen takes him down and just uses the jiu-jitsu and absolutely mauls him on the ground. So I got Blitzen here. Big play on Blitzen. Good.
I see why. Sam Alvey, I mean, he's got a decent southpaw jab, and his jab starts finding a home, and he can start landing a lot of what he wants, the body kick, and go for his very successful fight against Marcin Puccino, and
That guy got cut from the UFC. He's fucking
did get
horrible.
cut from the UFC, yeah. And similar to Gian Vellante, and that was a split decision against him. Not a very rough fight, and then he actually lost to Nogueira afterwards. So been on a bit of a rough sleep. I think it's a rough fight for him, but I think fighters start to lose to him if they sleep too much, and they can absorb one of his sneaky body kicks, and it can change a lot because once he gets you to the fence and starts landing his big shots. But the Abreu, man, he's the kind of guy who lands a big shot. He wobbled Magomed Ankalev in the first round, and he looked on rocky legs. The problem is, I think he let him go for a little too long because once his big shot landed, I thought he could have just kept pushing and probably even rolled him to the ground and got something. He's got a decent head kick that he looks for, and he likes to swarm people with punches before he sets it up. I think he's at a decent weight to prove that he can beat up Sam Alvey. So yeah, I think Abreu beats him up.
Abreu. Who's next?
How do you pronounce that, bro?
It's Portuguese. Abreu.
Abreu. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
Abreu. Bobby Abreu. You don't know Bobby Abreu, the baseball player?
No. I
Oh,
don't watch face.
yeah. I barely watch baseball too. Fuck, it's horrible. I like Abreu better, to be honest, though.
Yeah, same.
No, I like it. Like I like Abreu, like how you pronounce it. I
Oh
like that
yeah.
way better than Abreu, if you ask me. Um, I don't like this next fight, so I'm gonna let you talk about it. But I do have a play on it. Raquel Pennington and Irene Aldana.
Yeah. Raquel Pennington has been fighting super tough opponents, Jermaine Arandami and Amanda Nunes. I mean, again, like can't argue with a lot of those losses. She's good at tends to take a few quick shots, but she's in there and she's a real bully with a lot of her tactics. She put Durandamy right up against the fence for a long time and drained up a lot of her energy. And if it wasn't Durandamy, it's really difficult to get her off you. And it's a decent tactic to kind of drain people's energy until she's ready to start to add up her big punches. It takes a while. She likes to probe a lot of stuff and pat down a lot of weak jabs. Whereas Irene Aldana is good at kind of sticking and moving, throwing the jab out there, and constantly staying really far away. So it'll be interesting to see if she can stay at that range. She was able to butcher Betchkoera that way and kind of stay at a good distance. Didn't really get hit up. Started to add in the leg kicks, good uppercut. She's got just good punches and kicks all together, especially when she puts everything together. Problem is, it'll be difficult against Raquel Pennington, just constantly pushing a pace. And if she gets her to the ground, I think Irene Aldana is kind of in for it there. But yeah, I got Raquel Pennington in this one.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
I got Aldana.
Okay.
For the other fight, I actually have the play here. The fight goes to decision, but I think Aldana's the better boxer and shit too. Better striker.
Oh yeah, she's fast.
Probably keep it standing if it does hit the mount. Like she's pretty nasty off her back. She hit that arm bar too. So her sub skills are good. I don't know, man. I like Aldana in this spot, but I do think it goes to decision. So that's my play, but the pick will be Aldana here.
Mm.
Next up, almost at the main card. So final fight of
Peterson
Caceres. So final fight of the prelims, Caceres and Peterson. I think Caceres is gonna win this one, bro.
I like this fight actually.
Oh, this is gonna be a fun one.
The most fun fight on the card.
Yeah, probably
They're gonna be
will.
doing crazy shit.
Yeah. Oh, they're fun, bro. Peterson's always fun to watch.
Yeah.
So is Caceres. Caceres is fun to watch too, man. I like Caceres in this spot though. I think it depends, bro. If Peterson starts grinding him against the cage and shit, Caceres isn't the best grappler, so he'll get fucked up.
Mm.
Fucking, I don't know though, because Pearson's fucking.
Caceres actually scared Martin Bravo away with a few submission attempts. If you watch that fight, though.
Yeah, because he's crazy off his back and shit too.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. But I hate Martin Bravo. Well, I don't hate him. I just think I don't know. This is a tough fight to call. I think it's going to be fun for sure. I guess I do like Caceres though. I think he's the better striker, and it should stay standing. But Pearson's a fucking dog, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not going to put that guy away. Like, good luck, man. You're going to be a monster. Yeah, so I got Peterson. How about you? Or no, I got Caceres.
Caceres, right? Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah. Steven Peterson has a lot of great fights to watch, man. If you want to see some great fights, him and Benito Lopez have an awesome one, and so do him and Brandon Davis. I was glad he got that win against Matt Bassett, but a lot of these wins are split decisions, and they're just very tough and grueling fights. So if you're not up for it, he can take advantage of that. I think at times Steven Peterson tends to box a lot, and that actually gets a lot of his good runs. The problem is he relies a lot on the boxing and constant in pressure that when he gets a little tired and out punches himself, and then when he needs to chase, he just doesn't have those big stacking up combos. But when he hits you with a shot, they have a lot of stopping power to them, and it's something that can really bash people off balance. And that might not work for Alex Caceres because he needs to be balanced at all times when he's throwing his crazy spin shit and making fights difficult, like how he made against Martin Bravo, landing lots of spinning kicks and coming close to and even landing on his hip and kind of upper kind of body. It kind of scared him off, and Martin Bravo wasn't as close in, and that's all Caceres really needs. People to leave him alone and let him work. And if Steven Peterson waits too long, it can get difficult. It's just, I think Steven Peterson will be right up in him, and he'll be throwing punches, he'll be throwing kicks, feinting, lots of stuff in front, and I don't think he'll be as cautious. So I think he'll push Alex Caceres around and get him off balance and probably get a win here. So I got Steven Peterson. Ocho
Peterson. Okay, we're at a main card now.
Oh yeah, he's got that big Superman tattoo, eh?
Yeah,
shit. That's dedication.
That wasn't his nickname. What is he at? Oh, I guess his name's Steve. Fucking, that's a little bit crazy, bro. I thought I was crazy for my tattoo. A huge Superman logo like that. Well, I don't know. A lot of people have that.
But I forget his name. I think has like a Vegeta tattoo though on his arm.
Who has that?
I can't. He's been in like 2-3 of our breakdowns too.
Oh man. Oh, that's crazy. I don't know who it is.
I forget. It's not Martin Held, is it?
Martin Held? No.
No, it's not. Never mind.
Wait, yeah. Ocho's Superman logo is way nastier than Ryan Spann's, though. Ryan Spann's isn't that sick. Like, Ocho's is pretty nasty.
Yeah.
Next up, though, Andre Arlovski and Ben Rothwell. I'm not looking forward to this fight. Not like this gonna be so boring, bro. Um, the first one, they got Ben Rothwell got knocked out in Affliction, the first ever Affliction, uh, back in the day, bro. That was like 11 years ago.
Yeah.
That was the same one as Fedor versus Tim Sylvia. Bro,
Oh,
that was a sick card, bro.
legendary card.
Babalu was on that card. Nogueira was on that card. Vitor, Gary
Affliction.
Goodrich,
Jeez.
bro. Mark Hominick, Josh Barnett versus Pedro Hizo. Nasty card. Holy.
Wow, Mike Pyle.
Mike Pyle, bro.
Gary Goodrich was on that card still.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I love Gary Goodrich, too. Okay. But, fuck, man, I don't know, man. I'm not looking forward to this one. Orlovsky did not look good against Bautista Sakai.
No.
Boring fight. Bro, he just hasn't looked good as of late. Like, his last win was Stefan Struve. He's horrible. Well, not horrible. That's probably one of his better.
Albini, yeah.
Albini is fucking horrible. That's literally one of the worst fighters you can get.
He cracked him with a lot of good shots in that one.
Bro, Albini better get cut from the UFC. Better get, like, he's fucking horrible. Bro, I like Ben Rothwell in this fight, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Rothwell can take down Andre Arlovski here and do some damage. And he's got a funky style when he's standing up, as you know, but I don't know, man. I don't know if Arlovski's going to be quick enough these days to keep up with that funky style, so I got Ben Rothwell. I thought he actually won his last fight against Boy even off.
That was a really tough fight. It should have been a split decision.
Yeah, but I thought he won.
They get, yeah.
I could see Boy winning.
Big shot.
I thought Ben Rothwell won, bro. Okay, your turn.
Yeah, I agree that fight was a rough fight for Ivanov, actually, and it should have been easier for him, especially taking on someone from such a long break since fighting.
Ivanov isn't that good, man. He fucking, I don't know, man. Ben Rothwell should have won that fight.
He definitely started landing some nice shots. Like he does a lot of repeat hooks from both left and right, and I'll just throw like 4 left and right hooks all together, and he was cracking them with that. But it took him like 2 rounds to get it done, and he was stopping a lot. He could throw kicks from either side. He's got decent hands up. He's always kind of looking around. But Arlovski has made a lot of fights difficult for people that that should be really taking that fight. Sakai, like the weird split decision, even Walt Harris, like a lot of people can't, like, they have to still mind their manners around this guy. And I think Ben Rothwell is still shaking off a lot of that rust. And if he gives Andre Arlovski too much time, I think Andre has a lot of big skills that he can land. And a lot of the punches that he landed on Junior Albini, they were pretty rough, similar to Struve. And I think that if Ben Rothwell gets hit by one of those, it could be difficult for him.
Time's up.
Yeah, I got Andre Arlovski to upset.
I think he might be the favorite.
Is he?
I don't know. I might be. No,
actually, in this draft, I think they're only like divided by or I think they're only separated by like 200.
Yeah, I think that's a close fight, but I think
yeah,
was the favorite.
He has to be.
Next up, Francisco Trinaldo versus the hometown hero, the kid Alexander Hernandez, who's sporting a new haircut and buzzed his hair. Looks like a savage, bro. I see what I guess I can understand what some people are saying. Like Hernandez got finished by Cowboy, right? Like
Yeah.
Cowboy was on a tear, man. Still is. Like he just lost to Ferguson, which is nothing to be ashamed of. But like Cowboy's on an absolute tear, man. Like fucking, I don't know. And now people are just counting out Alexander Hernandez since that. Like people were
No,
counting out
you can't.
when he was fighting Benil Dariush. They were counting him out.
I did.
Knocks out Benil Dariush. People thought he was. A lot of people were against him against OAM. Manhandled OAM. Manhandled OAM. Then
That's
fights
not easy.
and then fights Cerrone. Looks good in the beginning, and then Cerrone gone finishes him. Um, I don't know, man. I love this kid. I just something about him. I really like this kid. Um, I think he's gonna come back even better since that loss. That's what superstars do, and I think this kid's gonna be a future superstar. So this is a tough fight for him, to be completely honest, with Trinaldo. Even though Trinaldo's fucking grandpa, but he, he still hits super hard and swings pretty fast. Nasty kickboxer, and he's a pretty good grappler too. He just finished Evan Dunham, so
Good fight.
you gotta watch out for him too. But I think just the pace and pressure of Hernandez is like something else, bro. Like there's no way Trinaldo can deal with that shit. Like later dealing with
Mm.
that. So I literally have a good one, bro. I got my boy here, Alexander Hernandez.
In that fight, I felt Francisco Trinaldo was still took a while to get that big knee to the liver, and he got it off of him running in, and you know. When you watch it, you almost don't see it because the camera was in the right spot, and then they had to change it to another camera that kind of had it. But he got that knee real high and just blasted him in the right spot. If he really believes in that, I could see him landing that. It's a decent shot for him, but again, it took him a while to set up, and I think Alex Hernandez is going to be coming at you with a lot of leg kicks, a lot of blocks and jab or right hands right away. Blocking almost kind of screws you over in an Alex Hernandez fight because he'll start to get to more places than you. He's got some wicked body kicks and constant punch pressure. He doesn't mind stabbing people if he gets a hold of them, and he's really good at kind of darting around before landing a body shot kind of combo, and very constant leg kicker. I think Francisco Trinaldo will have a way more difficult time, whereas Evan Dunham probably gave him a little bit more respect and kind of let him walk around a bit. Again, when this guy punches start to land, he can capitalize and just like some good shots to the body and good knees. But again, I don't think that'll be working in the first round. I think that's where Alex Hernandez takes the fight from there. So yeah, I got Alex Hernandez in this one.
You know, brother. Okie dokie. Okay, so our next fight is James Vick versus Dan Hooker. Oh, sorry, I didn't even mention this. Hernandez is what finishes the parlay for the 4.5 unit parlay. He doesn't finish the parlay almost. There's one more thing after that. But I also have Hernandez in the parlay. I'll put everything in the description below. Um, but I do have Hernandez in the big parlay as well with Klitzen and the two girl fights to go. Fight goes to the surgeon and then one more thing later on. But yeah, I do have Hernandez here. Um, Next up, Dan Hooker versus James Vick, and I think this is gonna be fight of the night. Like I would put almost everything that this is gonna be fight of the night.
Should be the co.
Should definitely be the co-main event, 100%. Um, there's not much more to say that these boys are gonna bang it out, bro. Like there's gonna be literally no grappling. Like, Dan Hooker was going through Twitter at points like after his last fight and telling people like, "Yo, like," or I think it was after the Gilbert Burns fight. Actually, he was saying like, He's like, I'm not even gonna like. If we fight, there's no takedowns. I'm just scrapping. Like I'm here just to scrap. So, I don't know, bro. I just love him. He's the fucking New Zealand zombie, man. He just takes shots after the beating he took from Edson Barboza. Bro, Edson fucked him up. But like, I don't see anyone. I can't picture anybody taking a beating like that. I don't know anyone who can take a beating like that. It's fucked how tough that kid is.
Yeah,
Unreal.
he took it for 3 rounds.
Bro, he's a fucking monster. And I had him in that fight, and I was just like, bro, please just go down. Like, we just lose right now. Like, who cares, man? But he's tough. There's nails,
Yeah.
man. James Vick too. James Vick's good, man. I like James Vick a lot too. A good boxer. It's gonna be a good striking battle. Vick just lost to Felder not too long ago, and then got knocked out by Gaethje before that. I got Dan Hook in this fight, though. I think he has more weapons, and the thing is, I think a better grappler might be James Vick, bro. James Vick's fucking
Really?
nasty on the ground. Yeah, man, James Vick's nasty.
I thought Dan Hooker wasn't bad either, but yeah.
And this is at oh yeah, it's at 150. But I think Vick has to move up pretty soon.
Mm.
He's getting older and shit. He's huge, man. He has to move up pretty soon. I think if this one doesn't go well, I would move up. But yeah, I got Dan Hooker here. How about you, dude?
Uh, it's hard not to. I mean, Dan Hooker has a super fast guillotine. He used it on Mark Diakase in that fight, and the reason I really like that fight is because Mark Diakase throws a lot of surprising stuff at you, a lot of crazy front kicks, and he really aims for your head and starts to spin at you. And Dan Hooker was able to disrupt him a lot, use a lot of fast footwork, and recover really fast off of both getting his punches and kicks back, and stepping back, moving away from a punch or kick, and then coming right back in. High right hand blocks the high kick for the next time. He's good at kind of mixing it up, and both fighters have their hands low, so it's going to be a nice war. They're both going to get shots off. I think James Vick is a little more reckless for a lot of good payoffs too. In the first round, he's probably at his deadliest. He kind of keeps like a good clinch, and he can start the knees when he really wants it, and start wrapping around the neck, and he'll be really difficult to get off. He throws lots of high kicks, so again, this is another fighter he's going to have to keep that strategy with. Again, with the Paul Felder fight, I thought Felder was landing a lot of big spinning elbows. It'll be difficult to kind of go after Dan Hooker because he does a lot of spinning stuff too. I think sometimes a little reserved, and he kind of takes back a few kicks and punches that he throws, and in those moments, James Vick could be on him in a second. And like you said, he's no slouch on the ground either. So I think Dan Hooker still has it. I think he's got a bit of a better, faster footwork and kicks working with him. But I think he'll be ready for a lot of the head kicks, and it'll be a great fight on the card, though. I got Dan Hooker. The Hang.
Next up, the big boys, Greg Hardy versus Juan Adams. I actually got a play on Greg Hardy in that crazy 7-play parlay, whatever it is, for 5 minutes. Bro, I just think Hardy's gonna be too much for Juan Adams. I haven't been impressed with Juan Adams at all. People are fucking talking about saying that he got robbed. Like that's fucked up. Are people not aware?
Wait, who got robbed? Adams?
Adams got robbed from in the Arch and Bullard fight.
I don't think so.
If you're retarded, sure. I guess like if you're not out there, like fucking did you not watch the fight, bro? How did he? People are like, oh, he landed more strikes. Yeah, he got dominated at times, bro. He's getting tripped and shit.
Oh yeah, he was off his bounce the entire fight.
Yeah, man, what the fuck? Like,
How do you win a fight if you're like scrambling the whole time?
I do think His striking's horrible. That's the other one. His striking's horrible. He's pretty damn good wrestler, to be honest. He's on some nice rides and shit like that. Like riding you. Good luck getting with buff. He's got some good grounded count too. No clue what this guy's talking about his gas tank though. Just because he throws a lot, bro. A lot of people can throw those shots. That's why your gas tank is horrible. Bro. Horrible. He's like one of the best gas tanks in the heavyweight division. Dude, I get tired after 2 minutes of throwing punches. No fucking clue what you're talking about, buddy. And not too big of a gas tank to be honest. Greg Hardy's a fucking specimen, bro. The best athlete in the UFC, bar none. Like literally no one even comes close to him.
His combines are probably pretty high.
Oh, he's an all-pro in the NFL at defensive end. An all-pro, bro. Not like player, brother. That guy went to the Pro Bowl multiple times, man.
Yeah.
No,
He wasn't on the practice teams.
no, man, he's a fucking monster, bro. And now he's starting to look better every single fight now. Looking better every fight. Now he's getting the wrestling together a little bit. Striking is going to come together. He's already got better striking than Juan Adams. So I think he's going to finish Juan Adams. So I got Greg Hardy here for sure.
I think Greg Hardy does, like you said, get better every fight. But his fight IQ is something that's going to take a long time to develop. You know,
Juan Adams' IQ isn't much higher.
Well, I feel like because of Juan Adams wrestling, his fight IQ is just already a bit better. And Juan Adams, when he does get people to the ground, I think that's where he can shine as a fighter if he just figures out ways to do that. His stand-up definitely is not up to Greg Hardy's level and could be a pretty easy fight for Hardy if he lands a few good shots, because Juan Adams won't be able to touch him. He'll just be such a slow kind of bear paw at him, and Greg Hardy will come right back with like another sparking combo. But when Juan Adams gets you to side control, it's difficult to get out of that, man. He did fight Chris De La Rocha, not the greatest, but at the same time, I think his grappling is probably better than Greg Hardy. Not saying that he beat him in a fight, but Juan Adams kind of ruled him around. He did get hit up a few times before getting him to that ground spot, but once he had him there, he was able to lower some elbows and make it difficult. And I think if Greg gets to the ground, he's in a big world of trouble. He's athletic, and he's super sparking. Like he's right back at you. Great. As much as the illegal knee is like arguable, I think it's just an amateur move, and he got too wild and he just went crazy. But that knee is still deadly, and he was still winning that fight well. But Alan Crowder frustrated him a lot with his hands down and was landing a lot of weird shots. So it's not that I think this guy's unbeatable, but I do think that he has a lot of places where he doesn't do very well. I think Juan Adams can capitalize if he trips, and Greg Hardy still makes a few mistakes, doesn't always defend his back, and can sometimes put a lot on punching. I think if Juan Adams is trying to do what he says he's trying to do, and he meets Greg Hardy right in the gates and wrestle him, I think he can fuck him up. But yeah, I got Juan Adams in this one.
Okay, next up is the co-main, Alexia Walt Harris, and this one's super easy to break down.
Oh yeah.
Walt Harris standing. Alexia Walt if it hits the ground. You're welcome. All you gotta know, if the fight stays standing, Walt Harris is gonna win. If it goes to the floor, Alexia Oleinik's gonna win. It's not going to decision, so that's actually the final play on my. Not going to decision, bro.
No, this one isn't.
It's either gonna get knocked out because Alexia Oleinik literally has no clue how to strike. Walt looked like a monster last time, right? But then if this hits the mat, Walt Harris has no clue what to do on the floor. And Alexia Oleinik's such a high level grappler that the fight's over. But the thing is, I like Walt Harris to win this fight, but I can't pick him. I think Alexia's gonna win.
Yeah.
Trust him, bro. His IQ is horrible too. I can see Alexia just moving forward, grabbing him, pulling him on top of him. Later go Ezekiel, number 95 on the fucking submission list. Like, always gets his fucking Ezekiel chokes. I could definitely see him getting this one here. If Warriors doesn't knock him down, bro, Alexis gonna finish him for sure. Yeah. So I got Alexi here. I think Alexi's gonna finish him.
I think Alexei Oleinik is like the Bernard Hopkins. What?
We'll look at Alexi's record.
Oh yeah,
Quick. Bro, I think he has 2 decisions in his whole career, and he has like fucking it's second.
70 fights.
Yeah, and he has like 2 decisions in his whole fucking career. That's crazy. But yeah, go on.
Amazing. I personally think he's the Bernard Hopkins of the heavyweight division in the UFC because he's just been fighting for so long. 42, still going. Has a strategy that's been working for him, and even cracked Mark Hunt with a pretty good shot in their fight. Obviously, he's not gonna square up and do well with guys like Alistair Overeem or even Curtis Blades. But at the same time, this guy's so surprising on the ground. He beat up Travis Brown, got him in a neck crank, and Victor Pesta in the Ezekiel choke, and pulls it off again on Junior. Like,
that one was the worst one.
I just like how he pulls it off.
I've lost so much money on him. It's because I always bet against him because he's the worst. But he always finds a way to win.
You got to give this guy like the highest like Hall of Fame spot ever, man. I'm a big fan. I just kind of started to watch him a lot more after when I got into this, and yeah, I got Alexei Oleinik in this one, no doubt. Walt Harris is still a rough fighter, and like you said, it ends on the feet for sure. He's got a nice pace, and when he stands that 1-2 in your face, it's a good coin flip that he's gonna land it, especially early with a good big shot. He's got a fast walk forward, makes a lot of kicks, hooks when he throws, and he's got a little bit of a weird fight with Andre Arlovski. I thought he was a little slow there, and wasn't able to keep Andre back with too much power that he had. But I think it'll still be a tough fight for Alexei Oleinik. But if this guy hits the floor, it can be over. I got Oleinik all day.
Yes, sir. And for a main event of the night, final fight to break down. Final play of the night is in that 0.5 year parlay. I have those Anjos plus 100. As you can tell, it's a fucking crazy parlay. It's like plus 2300 something. It's fucking nuts. But yeah, man, those Anjos invested a lot against Kevin Lee. A lot against Kevin Lee, man. I was not expecting that to be completely honest.
Nope.
I thought Kevin Lee was the author rest of previously. Those Anjos look really good, man. I think finishing that I'm trying to he's a better striker than Leon Edwards, and he's gonna be he's way more active. He's gonna be in your face pressure the whole fucking time. Leon's gonna have to use the grappling, which is the only reason I have a 0.5 minutes on this. But I do like those injuries in this fight to stay standing. It's probably going to decision. I can see those Anjos over the 5 rounds, but Leon Edwards last time, if I remember correctly, when he fought Cerrone, he looked unreal. Like in the 5th round, he looked brand new still. So, and if I remember correctly, at least, I might be thinking of somebody else, but fucking absolute monster. I think look tomorrow, so. But I think Leon Edwards has a pretty good target too. But yeah, man. It's a shame to look at talking before. I guess Impossible starting with the next title shot. That's what I would hope happens. But it would have been nice to see Monster fuck up Leon Edwards too.
After the altercation.
Who do you got though?
RDA super special fighter. this guy had an amazing fight against Anthony Pettis, which I was amazed because I had Pettis at the time. I thought he was going to be champ for a lot longer than that, but RDA took him right off the pedestal. He's tangled with Nate Diaz and Neil Magny, Robbie Lawler, and even Kevin Lee. Fights that I almost thought were a little difficult or would be difficult for him, for someone who's tough or someone who can clinch or someone who can wrestle. But he destroys these people, and he gets a lot of good kicks in their face, sticks to a lot of the basics, but just very ferocious, lots of uppercuts, and he's always in there. Like in the Pettis fight, he takes so many punches going forward, but he gets so much payouts on the shots he lands, the uppercuts, the knees to the thighs on the fence. Like it all just damages you, and you don't want to stand near him. Uh, Leon Edwards has been on a nasty tear, doing great against Alex Hernandez and even Gunnar Nelson. Gunnar Nelson, I think he really pushed his grappling skills to the test because they were just locked up for the entire fight. It's just Gunnar Nelson had a really low hand style, was really throwing the Conor McGregor combinations at him, and Leon Edwards was able to avoid it a lot and get back to the grappling and even defending Gunnar Nelson after he got mount for a while. And Gunnar Nelson was in some really deadly positions in that fight that Leon Edwards was able to reverse. He even landed a nasty elbow on Gunnar in that fight too. He's a very well balanced guy, only really losing to Kamaru Usman, since then winning 7 fights. So he's been killing it. He's got a few split decisions in there as well, and he I think he could have had a belt chance at some point, but I think maybe after this he will. So I got Leon Edwards in this one.
Cool. All right, so I'll drop all their picks and bets and all that good stuff in the description below.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next week. I think next week is UFC 240 with Holloway and Edgar. So that's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I love Max Holloway. Probably one of my favorite fighters, if not my favorite. So we'll see you guys next week.
Oh, you want me to do the DraftKings? I got one.
Yeah. If you have one, sure.
Yeah, I got Andre Arlovski, Leon Edwards, Dan Hooker, Maya, Alexei Oleinik, and pilarte. So.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good one, actually. Fuck. That's nice. All right, cool, guys. So we'll post all that good stuff in the description below. And until next time, take care.